None of this conversation should be taken as medical advice for you. Before starting or changing any medical or wellness treatment, always consult your GP and medical care team. Belinda, you totally froze there while you were dancing. So we got like Belinda just like that.
Nice. Strike a pose.
Hello folks, you're welcome along to another edition of The Dose with myself, Paddy, and...
Belinda!
Yes, quicker off the mark this time than some.
I know, forgot my name last week.
We are trying recording via a new way, so we've no idea how that's going to turn out, but hopefully it's going to be okay.
Be grand.
Yeah.
Paddy's famous last words. Be grand.
Yeah, you're definitely gone quite blurry on me though visually. I can hear you fine, Belinda, but yeah, you're going really blurry. I think it's just because you're on the old Wi-Fi. I do think it's that.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I don't have Elon Musk's internet, unfortunately, from the dish outside the house.
Where's your internet box? Is it far from your computer?
Oh, downstairs. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are much clearer though. Way. You're like high definition. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yeah.
The way
Fantastic.
I live. Yeah.
Your whole life.
Yeah. So Belinda, it's like Christmas week.
I know.
Like
it's a big week. Big week in our house.
Big week.
Yeah.
Week.
Busy.
So this is not your first Christmas though on like a medicated weight loss journey. It is for me.
It's not. Yeah, that's right. We're at opposite sides, aren't we, really? Because this is my third.
Yeah.
This is your first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
Crazy.
We did speak about some of this on the Instagram live the other night, and we decided that we were actually just going to do a dedicated recording, a short recording, just talking about this as well. So Belinda, as a
Expert? Go on, say it.
I was going to say, as a vintage patient.
Geriatric? Okay. Yeah, so I tell you, let's get a sense, Paddy, of how you feel going into your first Christmas on a medicated weight loss journey, because I think most of the people that I know that I speak to are just starting out their journey in the past 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and I suppose they're wanting to know how you're preparing or how you're going to kind of manage it all.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I didn't give too much thought to it until about maybe 2 weeks ago. And I was sitting on the couch by myself at home, and there was like a tub of sweets beside me. And I found myself just going for them because they were there. I definitely was not hungry at all. And I thought, I don't know how many I'd eaten. Like, I realistically, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, something like that. And at first I was like, why am I eating these? They're not even nice. They're not nice. They're really sweet, but they're not nice. So they're not.
So you weren't, would you say that you weren't getting the same kind of hit off of them as you would have previously to Mounjaro?
You see, it's hard to say because I wasn't hungry. I definitely didn't feel I was getting any kind of benefit or like
pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure from them.
Pleasure.
Like,
yeah.
But then it got me thinking: did I ever before get pleasure from them, or was it just a habit?
And were you just sitting? Yeah, were you just sitting on your couch eating them because literally that's what we used to do?
Exactly.
It's habit.
And then I started overthinking, wait a minute. Like I started thinking, oh my God, is there something wrong? Because this happened a few nights that week, right? And it kind of got me thinking, oh my God, the medication's not working. There's something wrong. Why am I eating these sweets if I'm not hungry? Previously, like I felt like very full after my meal or stuff like that. And that would do me like hours and hours and hours. I'm not feeling hungry. So why am I eating these? I don't feel physically hungry. And then I thought, wait a minute. A couple of things. This is the first time that I've been in this situation, this environment since I started this journey.
On this medication.
So this is a new thing for me.
Yeah.
And
what I'll say to you around that as well is, Paddy, say when you started your journey and you were just on your treadmill running along, day to day, you were getting used to it. Every single day you were learning new things, because on this journey you have to relearn so many things, habits, things like that. And nothing really big would have come up until now. So now you're going into a new situation, a new environment, and you're going to have to relearn more things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is. It is. It is definitely a new thing. And I think there's a lot of the last kind of 6 months have been, yeah, there has been new things, but that was predominantly in the first maybe couple of months where it's like, oh, this is new or that is new. And then I guess I have felt very at peace and understanding the journey that I was on. So then when I was in this new thing of like all these sweets around me and kind of going for them, I was like, okay, this is interesting because this is definitely a learned behavior
Behavior,
from
100%.
life as
Yeah.
opposed to any kind of, physical thing driving me to want to have these. And so I sat there and I was like, I don't want these. I'm not going to have them. But then equally, I did also, I guess, flip it on the other side off. Okay, but let's rationalize this a little bit more. People who aren't on this journey at Christmas time definitely have more sweets than they might have during the year. And I think that's the
Yeah.
other thing as well, is not to completely overanalyze things that it's Christmas. You're going to have some things that maybe you wouldn't have because everybody does. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just more so, I guess, for me being aware of you're like maybe you haven't just had a few sweets now. You're maybe had more than a few sweets now. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. But also, I think what we're going to have to do as well as a collective is to learn to listen to our bodies
Mm,
and trust our bodies, trust the medication,
yeah.
and trust the process a little bit more, because understandably, you are not going to be able to eat as much as you did previous to
Yeah.
Mounjaro or Ozempic. So you really have to dig deep and listen to your body this time around Christmas, because it's nothing that you've been through yet.
Yeah. The,
So,
the thing that's interesting with this, and I was thinking about this week actually, it only came into my mind this week, and I was thinking about how when we think about when we get full, okay, when we're on the medication, typically we will have had food that is quite filling food because it has a good bit of fiber in it, it has a good bit of protein in
protein
it, it's stuff like that, which is going to make us feel physically fuller. For you to get that same sense of fullness from sweets
from
is still going to
our
take
junk.
quite a good bit of junk for you to feel full because they're so moreable, because there's so many like calories and sugar and all this thing
Sugar,
in even one
fat.
little sweet. You'll still have gone through quite a few of them before you get that full. You will get that full feeling at some point, but you'll
But
have
you'll also
eaten.
feel sicker quicker.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you could eat an awful lot of protein and fiber and your vegetables and whatever, and eat a decent
yeah,
size meal, and you wouldn't feel sick from it.
yeah,
But you definitely will feel sick. And
yeah,
the really kind of thing to remember as well is that if you do start feeling like that, then you could possibly bring on side effects
yeah,
that you haven't had in
yeah,
the past 6 months.
yeah.
So you need to be very, very aware of that. And I will say as well that with these medications, the what is it? The perfect storm is fat and sugar
Yeah, yeah.
together. I say if you had Black Forest Gatto or cheesecake, absolutely saturated with fat and sugar, and that will just your stomach will not like that, and
Yeah.
you will get side effects from
And
that. And it's
it's
not side effects from the drug; it's side effects from what you're ingesting
it's
whilst on the medication.
and similarly for some people it can be that they may get side effects with things like the greasy food and alcohol and a combination of all that.
Yeah.
Now, I've not had side effects from, I don't think there's been any food. I said there was one night where I was sick when I was in Belfast recently, but I do genuinely think that was because I had a random cocktail that had like raw egg whites whipped on it and stuff like
Oy.
that. And I think I genuinely think it was that as opposed to anything else because I've eaten pretty much anything I've wanted. I've drank pretty much anything I've wanted while it's been on this journey. Obviously, not
But
to excess.
I know extent, but also in saying that as well, because you've not been on a diet.
Exactly, exactly. And still, for the most part, I am extremely conscious of want to get my protein, want to get my fiber, want to get my protein. Like even yesterday, I was out for, myself and my husband went out for our kind of little Christmas day out that we normally do, and we went into a Japanese restaurant. And if you're on my Instagram, you may have already seen this, but I put up a picture of what my lunch was, and it was chicken teppanyaki, which was so good.
Look lush, yeah.
There was like so much chicken in it. And this is the thing, I was like, I want something I really like, but I want to be somewhat mindful still of what my body needs. So I was like, well, how am I going to balance it? So I had chicken gyozas just because I love them. I was not thinking protein or fiber when I had them. I was like, I just love chicken. And they're not massive. I was like, I'm going to have me chicken gyozas. And then the chicken tails, right? The chicken teppanyaki was gorgeous because it had a load of the stir-fried vegetables and a load of chicken, and then it had the teriyaki sauce and stuff. But for me, it was like, do you know what? This is the perfect example of a lunch that really hit the spot because it's really tasty. It is a treat for me, but it still supported my protein and fiber kind of goals as well. So it was a nice one.
Because you always have to think about that in the background. But I think it's not that you have to. You just get used to it, don't you?
You do.
You know? Yeah. Which is good. And I think as well, a big thing for people going into Christmas that are new to the journey or are on the journey and people don't know that they're on the journey is having to explain why you're not eating like you would have done previously. Because I know that if I was going up to my mum's house and everybody was there and we were all sitting down for dinner and I'll just have a flat plate of food with little bits of everything because I want to try everything. But previous to that, I would have had a mountain of food.
And do you tell people
will
then?
Ask for,
Do you tell people then, or how do you handle that when they're like, "Oh, why aren't you eating more?" Or why are you having so little?
Me personally.
Yeah, what do you do?
Every single person I know knows that I'm on it. I shout about it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
But there's an awful lot of people and I speak to them every day, and there's some in my subscribers group as well that nobody knows that they're on it.
Yeah.
You know? So I think the advice for them would be to just take a deep breath and say something like, oh, you know what? I've just started listening to my body and it's really helping.
Yeah.
And that's literally, if you don't want people to know, just say that.
Because I have some houses that I go to, or place that I go or whatever, and it's not that I don't talk about the medication. Of course I do. Sure, like I have it on social media, that. But more so, it's not, sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to get into this big conversation about something. So what I've started doing is when I'm going somewhere for dinner, I'll be like, do you know what? Just put out a small portion for me. If I'm hungry, I'll come back for seconds, but just give me a small portion to start off with, will you? And if they were like, oh, you'll have more, I'll be like, no, honestly, if you put it out, it's just going to go to waste. So just give me the small portion. And if I want to pick a little bit more, I'll go over and get something. And I much prefer to do that. Much prefer. Yeah. And if they don't listen to me, and if they give me a big portion,
which they don't generally,
I will nearly always intentionally leave food so that they get the message then. Because again, as you say, not everybody might want to get into that, or might be in a place that they can get into it. So that's still something I'll do, definitely, is like, oh no, just give me a small portion, and you know what, I'll go back for more if I want.
I'll go back to it.
Yeah. But don't feel bad about it.
And it's tough. It is tough for people that are not telling people about it, Yeah.
And
and I think as well, like the fear that some people have going into the Christmas season as well is just with all the food being around, I think that the best thing that you can possibly do is just focus on other things, fill your day and fill your mind and your hands and everything with other things. Just kind of think about the joy, think about what you're going to do with the kids, think about wrapping the presents, you know what I mean? And I think that'll happen automatically for you anyway, once you just kind of try and relax into it, because we are spending our days now not thinking about food.
Yeah.
We're not spending our days anymore thinking about the next meal and what we're going to have and how much of it can we have, but I do think it's heightened. I definitely think it's heightened now. And
the other thing that I know we've both said before as well is, if you do have a day or two, whatever, whereby maybe your food intake or whatever isn't what you ideally would have liked it to be, or isn't what you would have planned, maybe intended for it to be or whatever, and it just ends up being different. Maybe the plans go out the window or something happens and you end up having to eat out or whatever, and you're not able to do what you had intended to do. Don't beat yourself up about it. 1 or 2 days, or even 1 week or 2 weeks, in the grand scheme of for most
journey.
of us, it's a pretty long journey. It's not going to make
Yeah.
or break it. So
Yeah.
be kind to yourselves.
Be kind to yourself. Yeah, be a bit more gentle with yourself in this
Yeah.
period of time. And also, I think that, at the end of the day, if you do, like we said this the other night, Paddy, if you do go to the scales afterwards and you are up a pound or two, what was it you said?
It is highly unlikely that the weight that you see up is going to be body fat that you have now gained over the course of a few days. So say, for example, if we take me, right? And I don't know, I'm going to guess here that my maintenance calories for me just to maintain my weight could be something like, say, 3,000 calories. It's probably more actually, but just for the purpose of this. So for me to gain a pound or two over, like for me to gain a pound or two
Over maintenance.
yeah, I would need to eat my maintenance and then an extra, say, 7,000 calories for me to potentially regain 2 pounds. So like that amount of food, I know
It's an impossibility.
It's yeah.
But it is on this medication, it's an impossibility.
It would be extremely different. Yeah. Like it's way more likely going to be food sitting in your tummy from the slowed digestive emptying. It's going to be maybe additional hydration levels if you've had some more liquid in you. It could be stress from the week. It could be poor sleep. It could be like time of the month. Not for me, but for many people it could be. So like there's lots, a combination of all those. So I would say if anything,
apart from the food.
yeah, exactly. It's more likely those and a combination of those than actually the food you've eaten. So
And then I think as well, when you if you do stand up on the scales, and I recommend that you don't, if you do see that couple of pounds or whatever, just get right back to your normal pattern and hydrate yourself. Hydrate. And,
actually,
you will see it shift quite quickly, quicker than you would have done all through the past 6, 8, 9, 10 months.
And that's actually a thing about the scales. I would love if people were like, do you know what? The one thing I am going to take a breather from over Christmas is the scales. And don't weigh yourself at the end of Christmas. If you're somebody that weighs weekly, don't weigh yourself, at the end of Christmas week. Wait until, maybe the following weekend, that first weekend of the new year, because you're giving your body that chance to kind of normalize again, to kind of recalibrate. So that's what I would advise. If you're into that kind of weighing kind of weekly, just definitely take a week off the weighing, if anything,
Yeah.
And
what's your plan with the weighing? Are you going to do that? Because we know that you've hit this massive milestone in the past 2 weeks, and my God, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell people.
So the 15th of December was my 6-month anniversary since I started on Mounjaro. And in kind of the week beforehand, I kind of said, I'm about 1.5 pounds off hitting 6 stone weight loss. And I was thinking, do you know what? If I could hit that by New Year, that'd be amazing. So I was hoping, I'm giving myself, it was, I think, just over 2 weeks or something like that to try and lose that 1.5 pounds. And I would have been delighted with that. But anyway, on the 15th, I stood on the scales, and to the ounce, Belinda, to the ounce.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, to the ounce. It was exactly 6 stones achieved on my 6-month anniversary from when I started Mounjaro. And
that was faith.
It just blew.
That was meant to happen.
Like, I couldn't believe that it was to the ounce. It just blew my mind.
It was mental, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. So that's I definitely did not think at the start of this year, and actually there's a whole other thing at the start of this year that I've never spoke about. I don't know if this podcast get into it, but at the start of this year that I haven't even spoke to you about. A different attempt that I tried. Okay, so I haven't spoke with this in the podcast before. Actually, it could be good timing. This time of year, a lot of people are obviously thinking about, what am I going to do in the new year? What is my plan? We know Mounjaro is going to be available in the Republic of Ireland soon. Actually, it is now available via a new dispenser, which
you're going to talk about.
Yeah. So it is available. I'll just tell the address. It's my-bmi.ie. They are now delivering Mounjaro to the Republic of Ireland. But we'll talk about more about that in a future episode, hopefully, or on a reel or something on my Insta.
Will.
Yeah.
No, we will.
So anyway, people are, assessing different things. One of the areas where people spend a lot of time kind of reviewing things about is social media. So they're going to be looking at online personal trainers, online plans, online programs, all this kind of stuff. And loads of those can be absolutely phenomenal, folks. They really can. Okay. There are some amazing personal trainers out there, both in person and online, that can be phenomenal. But a word of warning I will give you: just because somebody has a large follower account as a personal trainer does not necessarily mean that they're going to be a good personal trainer for you, or that they're any more credible than, say, a local personal trainer or a personal trainer who may have a smaller following. Now, I've been around personal trainers extensively for the last 14 odd years, both having
You
worked.
are a personal trainer.
I'm a qualified personal trainer myself, yeah. So both in that capacity, having trained with some, following them, multitude of different ways. So it's an area that I would know a good bit about. And at the start of this year, I was looking at, like many of us, I need to do something. And I need to do something.
That's always a thought.
Yeah, I need to do something to try and lose weight again, because nothing has worked before. And there was a personal trainer that I followed that has a massive following and put up a lot of very credible videos about, weight loss and obesity and stuff like this. And I really respected them and the content that they put out. And I do think their content they put out online is really, really good. So I got in touch with them because they were offering a plan, and I think it was, I'm going to say, was it £250 a month? Something like that. I think it was something like that. 250. I have to double check. Anyway, it was.
We think that's a lot, don't we?
It is a lot.
That's for online. That's not in person.
Yeah. Now, if you're getting, it depends. Now, this is where it comes down to what support you're getting, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so
yeah.
I was thinking, okay, I was told there was going to be weekly check-ins, there's going to be the weigh-ins, there's going to be the progress pictures, there's going to be checking the food, there's going to be the personalised plan, all this kind of stuff. And this person had qualifications specifically in like obesity and weight management. I was like, this feels like a really good fit. So I got really hyped up because I'd done so much research and it was a big financial investment, had to do a minimum of 3 months as well. So I was tying myself in for nearly $1,000 worth of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'd say 2-3 weeks in, I was like,
So you did join?
I did join.
Okay. Right.
And I thought, shit, this is shocking. This is shocking.
When was this? January of this year?
Yeah. They were using like a generic platform that is used by loads of personal trainers, which can work effectively, depending on how it's used. The check-ins were mediocre. The workout was one that, to be honest, ChatGPT could have done. ChatGPT is pretty decent.
No.
It was so poor. There was I did not feel any bit of individualized approach or programming or discussion or check-in or anything for me. I felt it was really, really, really poor, and I felt so disheartened. I didn't feel that there was any leaning in from any of the qualifications this person had that were being applied to me to help me, to coach me. There was no coaching, actually, at all. It was pretty much like keep doing what you're doing type thing or stuff like that. And
that was your check-in.
That was my check-in. I was devastated because I knew I was tied in for a 3-month thing as well.
What?
So I could not wait for that to be over because I felt so disheartened.
And did you continue on kind of just going with the flow?
Yeah, I kind of went with the flow, and I remember the last check-in, or the second last one, whatever it was, in the last month of it I got lax. I thought, okay, I'm going to see now how much do they chase me or that. And there was very little. And I had my subscription had even ended before they even realised and before they even reached out to me. So they hadn't even copped that my programming with them had finished. It was so bad. Anyway, the moral of this story is, folks, do not sign up for any online personal trainer or course until you've had the chance to have a consultation with them beforehand and get confirmation of exactly what level of support is it you are going to get from them. How individual and personalised is it? And try not to get tied into something that is multiple months on end. Okay, and I know some personal trainers won't like me for saying that, but you have to protect your investment just as much as they have to, and they need to prove themselves. So if it's a case that, maybe you can come to an agreement of, no, do you know what, the first month or two, I'm only doing it month 1, month 2, month by month, but then after that, if the service is supportive of me, then yeah, we can look at something that is like, a 3-month plan or something. But yeah, just be
The thing
wary.
is as well, to be wary, obviously, but Paddy, you are so invested in figuring out what is best for you, and you do your homework on everything.
Yeah,
Anything that you put your money or your mouth to, you
yeah,
just invest in it, and you need to know what you're going to get out of it. And you obviously did that.
yeah,
And even having done that,
yeah. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And I remember talking to my friends at the time, and they were just devastated for me because, again, the cost of it,
Yeah,
like
it's too much.
that's more than what my medication is costing. Do you know?
Yeah, it's way too much. Now, I have invested in a gym. I start tomorrow morning at 6:45.
Woo! I love this.
I know.
Wait, I want to
I'm,
play something for this. So, Jim. Oh no, not that one. What am I doing? Here we go.
I'm. Thank you very much. But I am shitting it. But anyway, listen, it's a local gym, and it is nearly on my doorstep. And I know the guys in there, and it's a small group training, small
Yeah,
group strength training.
yeah.
And it's 8 people in a room, and had my introduction. They've gone through the whole kind
Brilliant.
of onboarding thing with me, and I'm going into some machine in the morning where it's going to tell me loads of stuff about
Yeah.
my body. I don't know what it is, but
Is
I'm turning up
it
early to do it.
an in-body by any chance? No? Could that be what it's called?
Maybe. Hang on now.
Tanata machine either or something like that.
Now
But
Heather
that's
did
brilliant.
tell
I'm
me.
excited to see who you come because, as people will know, I firmly believe that regardless if you're on a weight loss journey or not, that the best form of movement you can be doing for your longevity and your overall health is strength-based training, and that can look
Yeah.
like different things for different people. But in terms of just the benefits, particularly when you're on a weight loss journey, that kind of strength-based training is just so phenomenal. And I know we spoke about this, and I know you really enjoy the other bits and pieces you've been doing too, and they're
Yeah, but
phenomenal.
I'll continue. I'll continue to do
Absolutely.
them. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but so I'm really excited to see how you get on because I think
Yeah.
you're going to be phenomenal at it. Yeah, you're going to be brilliant,
Yeah.
and I think you're going to surprise yourself.
In body.
In
What is
body,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
in body, yeah,
I was talking to one of the trainers, Heather, and she
yeah,
said we have an in-body machine in the gym
yes,
which measure your weight, body fat
yeah,
percentage, and muscle mass, and you can do it on your first day if you want.
yes, do
And I
it.
just said to her, "Oh, I said that sounds dangerous. I'm in."
No, do because the way I got a DEXA scan done a few months ago.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's kind of similar to a DEXA scan. It's not, say, in a medical setting, but it's a similar
Right.
thing. So what I'd be looking for there is I'd be looking for the trends when you get your next one done. Okay, so I say
Right.
don't obsess too much with the numbers, but do look at the trends to see, okay, well, how is my muscle? Has it stayed the same, gone up or down? How are the other bits? So that's the way I definitely be looking at that
Right. Okay.
because there's one of the gyms in
But
town has one, and I was thinking of getting an in-body done as an interim whilst I'm waiting for my next DEXA scan as well, actually.
okay.
Yeah.
And so should I just do this tomorrow then, and then do my 6 weeks because I've paid up for 6 weeks, and it was only 100 or 250 quid for the six
That's
weeks.
brilliant. Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I thought. And then I'll just wait, shall I, till the 6 weeks are up and do it again?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's not the type of thing you
It
need to
won't
do
take
too frequently.
my body measurements though, will it?
They might take your measurements to key them in for you. I'm not sure. Like usually,
Maybe.
so
Yeah.
what it is, it's a platform that you usually stand on. You take your shoes and socks off, and it'll have sensors, metal sensors beneath your feet, and then there'll be handles that you hold, and it sends a tiny electronic electrical
Reading.
signal through your body, and basically what it does is, depending on how long it takes that signal to go from point A to B to C to D, depending on how many points there are, it will determine basically, how hydrated are you, how much muscle have you, and how much kind of
Body
bone,
fat.
all the other bits. Yeah, how much that. So that's
Yeah.
the way it kind of works. It's kind of like from an electrical little signal that it sends through your body. Yeah,
Okay, that's going to be interesting.
yeah,
Excellent.
yeah,
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 that's good. Yeah.
yeah. And I
Yeah. But
think
yeah, but again, like what you're saying about when the new year comes and everybody has the same thought, oh, I need to do something, I need to do this, I need to do that. Just take your time.
Yeah, yeah. Do
Yeah.
take your time. And like I'm working with a strength coach since September, and like I'll get frustrated still if there's a movement I can't get right or don't get the first time. I won't give up though. I won't give up. Because I love getting the coaching technique and tips from him. Like he's brilliant. He's phenomenal with it. And I see this as such a brilliant investment in just overall health and longevity. But even though sorry, I just have a frog in my throat. There we go, it's back. But even though tonight we were doing this move, and my range of motion just was not there. So he was helping me with that, and fair play, we were kind of able to progress it. But it's still, even a few months in, it's still important to remember that when you do something new, even though you might have been doing something similar for a while, just be kind to yourself again, because some things can be new and some things can be difficult, and everybody's body, just like with the medication, everybody's body is different. Your range of motion, your ability, the weight you can lift, all that kind of stuff.
Previous injuries,
totally,
all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. And also, I think even the length of your femur
has
something to do with the way you squat as well, doesn't it?
Like
and how your movement will be.
Like your torso versus your lower body, even your arm length, all this kind of stuff can be. And this was one of the things I was trying to do, because like I'm, I say 6'1" or whatever, and the movement was for me to have a dumbbell overhead and a windmill, it's called, and then get my hand down to the ground. I'm like, my legs are too long for this. my legs are too long. But it was good. I got there in the end. Not pretty, but we got there. So yeah.
Not about the gracefulness at all.
No, definitely not graceful. Speaking of nothing graceful.
Well, I will definitely tune in and let everybody know. Actually, I might bring in my phone with me in the morning and see if I can do a little bit of
why don't you do
Instagramming?
a weekly update, a series for your Instagram? Like on your highlights and
stuff. Talk to me about that tomorrow.
Oh, I think that'd be brilliant.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to ice skating yesterday.
Oh yeah, you looked really good on the ice actually. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very graceful.
Yeah, very.
I'm not even taking the piss like
surprisingly, I didn't fall. I don't know how I didn't fall, but I didn't fall. I was amazed with myself.
You'd done it before though, I think maybe.
Oh, like twice, 3 times maybe, like years ago.
I wouldn't do it now. I'd be too afraid of my back. I'd be petrified.
Yeah, but the thing that struck me was my legs, like how much I was tensing my muscles and my core, and like I was like, wow, that felt like a good workout, because I was being so mindful of not falling over. When you're in those situations, what happens is all the smaller little muscles in your body are all kind of shaking, trying to figure out, okay, what am I meant to do here to support? This is new, blah blah blah. So it was actually a really good workout as well.
Nice. And you would have felt it afterwards then, I'm sure.
I can still feel it today.
Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah.
Give it another go.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, it's like €20 for 45 minutes, which I don't know, that could be good, I don't know. But like I did half an hour and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done now. It's a bit cold.
That's enough of that. Paddy.
Yeah.
We had some questions come in the other day as well, didn't we?
Yes.
And it was about medication on the Christmas period, right? And should I stop taking my medication while Christmas is going on? And what did we think? We thought, no, that's not a good idea.
No.
And I think for, say, the likes of me, even having been on this for over 2 years now, and for me to think about not taking my medication now so I could eat as much as I want would actually be so counter to everything that I've learned and everything that I have unlearned. And it just, I wouldn't do it purely because I don't want to go back to the way I was before this medication. That's my thought on it as well. And I think you're probably the same, are you?
100%. Like I've seen so many people online saying, I'm going to skip a dose because I want to enjoy Christmas. And to me, that translates, rightly or wrongly, that translates to, I still see this as a diet and I want to stop it so I can potentially overeat again during Christmas, which would indicate there's still work there. And that's not to put shame on somebody or anything. It just, I hope would highlight to somebody that, do you know what, maybe there's a bit of work still to do. on my relationship with food.
Food. Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay too.
Absolutely,
But
100%.
just recognize it. Recognize that the
Exactly.
reason that you want to stop the medication is the reason you started the
Yeah,
medication in the first place.
yeah.
You started the medication to get away from that
Culture
anxiety,
of, yeah,
yeah, that culture of dieting and non-dieting, you know, it's not great. But the only thing is, as well, I would say to somebody that has just got their medication and that are thinking about maybe starting it, this week or whatever, that probably is not a good idea.
yeah.
Only because, you're not guaranteed, it's not guaranteed that you'll have side effects, but certainly eating the foods that are around at the moment will not help side effects.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, look,
Yeah.
ultimately, you've to do what you feel works for you. And again, maybe some people are deciding that they're going to skip a dose because maybe they do get side effects when they
Side
take a dose.
effects.
Side
Yeah,
effects.
yeah.
They
But
get side
also as
effects.
well, skipping the dose, Paddy, doesn't necessarily mean that the medication has gone out of your
Oh,
system. So be
100%.
wary.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I guess it's just more so, I think both of us are aligned on that idea of, if the reason you want to skip a dose is because you can enjoy food more over Christmas week, it doesn't sit right with me as the right reason for why somebody would skip a dose. And it's also not the way that the medication is meant to be used. You are meant to take it every week. Now, the medications nearly all cover if you miss a dose, what you can do then. But I think people are kind of almost using that on its head
Yeah.
as a way to skirt
Yeah.
around intentionally skipping a dose.
And well, just say to like everybody that's listening in now as well that even though you're skipping your dose, again, it doesn't mean the medication has left your
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
So be prepared that if you are planning on eating the way you did previous to Mounjaro or Ozempic, that you could possibly suffer side effects and you could possibly ruin your
yeah,
whole Christmas.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and I couldn't even imagine, because this is what it's like for me. I couldn't imagine not taking my medication and going over to my mom's house and sitting down at the table and eating everything I wanted to eat, because with that comes the torture that was in my head
yeah, yeah.
about the calories, the amount of food I'm eating,
The
what's the
food
scales going to be
noise,
like after it. Food noise, yeah.
because we know it can,
Who would want that?
like, it can be common for some of that to come back as it is on days like 5, 6, 7 of a normal week.
Anyway, yeah,
Do you know? So
yeah. And I
yeah,
suppose that's a really good point as well, Paddy, that even though like you might miss a dose, right? And you will start having all the food noise back and the hunger suppression isn't as good. The medication is still in your body. It's just not working as well. So be careful. Be
yeah,
very mindful.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
very mindful, very demure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Any other tips you have there for Christmas, or anything? Was anything else?
I think like the main one really is just to be more gentle on yourself, just to allow yourself a bit of grace, but just be careful while you're doing it, because nobody wants the side effects that come with these medications. Mm, I suppose that's kind of it, really. What's your take on it, Paddy?
I had images of you there, Jessica Fletcher style, writing out your notes with your little typewriter, like tap, tap, tapping away.
Do, 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 do. I have everything on my phone. Stop it. Did you just put the sound of a typewriter in? You tool.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, bless you. Bless you.
You'd still be on to me, Paddy. The Wi Fi's not working in my typewriter. I can't get the input
Paddy,
right.
stop. Paddy, can we think of any of the other questions that the girls would have sent in? I think
Ooh,
that's covered it really, hasn't it? About I think I'm going to miss a dose. I'm thinking about starting it this week. What will I do if I overeat? The thing is, again, trust the process, trust the medication, trust your body and listen to your body, because again, as Paddy said earlier, you might feel like you can overeat on those chocolate sweets as you're passing them or you're sitting down watching the telly, but your body will tell you to stop.
yeah.
Your mind will
But
tell you to stop.
you would have gotten through a fair amount of them like
Yeah.
energy wise, because they're quite calorie dense and energy dense before you get to that point. That's the problem, because they're not filling. So your body won't get that full signal. It'll take you longer to get that full signal with food like that. So which
Yeah.
is even without the material.
But the sickness will come quicker.
Could do, yeah, depending on how your
Yeah.
body reacts.
Yeah.
I think we've covered this, but one of the ones was how to deal with pressure to eat and drink from friends and family because it's Christmas. I think we've kind of touched on that, yeah, and like not to be afraid to say, "Oh, do you know what? No, I'm okay."
Yeah. But the Irish are not great at taking that. You
No,
know,
but
we're
then
not
this,
like
but then
we
that's
really aren't.
that's where I say my thing is, if it's food, I leave it on the plate. I literally, and
Yes.
then like just
Take it.
leave it
Yeah.
there.
If it's been forced on you, take
If
it and
if
leave it.
just leave it. You know,
Yeah.
prioritize
They
you,
learn.
prioritize you and what is going to support your goals physically, but more so mentally, you know?
Think about how you're going to feel when you walk away from that
Yeah.
table, and you're going to be so full and so sick from it, you know.
And
So you're doing that to keep somebody else happy. Don't.
but then
Absolutely do
equally,
not do that.
if it's a case that someone's coming over with more dessert and you're like, actually, no, I would like that. Like, don't beat yourself
And
up about that either. Enjoy it. Do you
yeah,
know? Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
there is that, it is that balance of, if it's something you do not want, I guess it is because being able to say no, thank you, as simple as it is, we know it's difficult, but that will give you almost another tool in your box as time goes by to get more comfortable saying, no, no, I'm okay, thanks. Or as I say, just give me a small portion now and I'll go back for seconds myself.
And I'll see how I am.
I'll help myself.
Yeah.
Because people love hearing, oh, they're going to help themselves. Oh, yeah, it's over there in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Like,
Oh yeah, leave them off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll go back for more. Like, it's grand.
Yeah. But you know, again, just being mindful of our audience, and that there are so many people out there that people do not know, even their closest
yeah.
do not know that they're on it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard. It is hard.
It
you know,
is.
I know women that are taking this drug in complete secrecy.
Yeah. Same,
You know?
same. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think as well, particularly, you know, that old Irish thing of you have to clean your plate. You can't get up at the table till your dinner is gone. You know, and that's,
Yeah.
I remember talking about that with a therapist before. Like, you know, when we were talking
Yeah.
about kind of food and stuff like that, and how deep rooted that is in so many people's minds of, you don't get up from, you know, so I know that there is a big challenge there. And it's something that we're kind of taught, and we're taught that leaving food is bad on plate. But, you know, I think this is where, as adults and as we kind of are on this journey and trying to make better decisions and choices that are supportive of our journey, you know, sometimes there are going to be awkward conversations, and that I don't mean necessarily having to tell people about the medication, but I mean that kind of
Awkward
just saying,
conversations about why you're not
just saying
eating
no,
the way you used to.
you're just saying no, thank you, you know, or no, I'm all right,
Yeah.
no, I'm full.
But I get where you're coming from with the deep-rooted trauma about having to clean your plate and all of that. Like, I remember being on a diet, I think when I was 15, and the top tip we were given was, if you don't want to eat it or you feel full, put washing up liquid on it, put pepper on it, and then put it in the bin.
Like,
And I did. I
Yeah.
did. That's what I used to do to stop me from eating something.
yeah.
Didn't fucking help 10 minutes later, though.
Yeah. Or while you were talking there, something else I thought of is if somebody is pushing it or is like, whatever, another thing you'd be like, do you know what, I'm full now, but I'll take it with me if that's all right. I'll have it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Something like that. Do you know? Because again, people love, oh, they're taking me food.
Oh,
So
my
there is-
God, yes.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might bring it home actually and have it later if that's okay.
Exactly.
And then they pile it up for you.
Yeah.
You're going home then with 3 dinners under your arm.
And it could save you
You go for the
cooking the
week.
next day. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there is those kind of little things, but just try and prioritize something that is going to give you that kind of mental support and kind of comfort. And yeah.
The backup, you need that backup, don't you? Those phrases like, oh yeah, I'll actually, do you know, would you mind if I took it with me?
I was going to ask you if Santa's coming, but as if
Oh yeah. Santa's, do you know,
you're on that
I
naughty
was in
list.
I was in the car the other day with our youngest, and he was in the back of the car and I was driving, and he rubbed his belly, and I said, "What's up with you, bud?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just so excited." He actually had butterflies in his stomach that he was nearly shaking out on the back of the car at the thought of Santa coming. I'm just on my heart. And you know what? He's going around telling everyone I've only found this out the past 2 days. He's telling everyone he's getting a fucking harmonica for Christmas. That child has never mentioned a harmonica to me.
But you know what? They might have had to mention it to you, but Santa sometimes, as we know, can get the things.
He won't be getting a harmonica.
Oh, is the North Pole out of them?
Not. Huh?
North Pole might be out of them.
The North Pole are out.
Yeah, because it might be a bit late now for the elves to get those built in time.
Yes. Yeah. And Santa doesn't really like loud noises.
Oh, okay. Oh, Santa.
I know.
So, Belinda, are we going to have a New Year's episode out, or what's our plan?
I think so. What day does it all fall on? Does it happen? Because I don't know what day it is. So Wednesday is yeah, I think we will, Paddy. I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
to have an episode out on the 3rd. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So my life is all freed up now and everything. My mornings, my evenings, everything.
Mine's really quiet too. I never really do anything.
Yeah, shut up. He says after coming out of the penthouse. And what was the hotel you were at? What was the name of the hotel?
The Glass House in Sligo.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Only on the internet, obviously. I wouldn't have gone up there now or at.
Yeah, no, it was nice. Yeah, because
you were up so high it was swaying. Is that what you said?
Not far off. Like we were on the top floor.
Storm.
Yeah, we're on the top floor, and there was the storm last night. So by God, we could hear it. It was wild. So, but it was brilliant. We were really cozy, and it was really nice, and a lovely
Beautiful
dinner.
room.
And, yeah, it was fab. It was only done up. So we actually were in that exact room for Christmas night last year as well.
Oh,
just
lovely.
by coincidence, and it had just been done up then, so it's nice, and it's nice to see year on that the standard is still maintained there, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Belinda, look, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, as always, Paddy, as always, and just to everybody that's listening, just be gentle, be mindful, and take it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Take it easy on yourself. And
yeah, tough time of year.
It is a tough time of year. It is. It can cause a lot of anxiety for people, stress and stuff like that. And as I say, just keep in mind, no matter what, 1 week, even 2 weeks, it's not going to break the journey in the grand scheme of things. So don't be sitting there.
Hardening yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Do you know, the bigger picture of life is more important than 1 week or 2 weeks on its own.
Yeah, and we'll be checking in anyway.
We will.
Don't forget to come over to our Instagram. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Ask us any questions. We're always there, always.
And by the time this goes out, Belinda will have done her first gym session as part of her new thing. So go and check Belinda.
And my other new thing is I gave up alcohol. On 7 days straight. Not that I was drinking 7 days anyway, but I just think that it was hindering my progression.
Yeah, but that's particularly at this time of year.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what I was thinking, Paddy. I joined a gym and I gave up alcohol on Christmas week, and I thought to myself, if I can do it in this week, in this moment in time, that I can do it anytime.
Amazing. I love that.
I've never felt so good. Honestly, I'm jumping out of the bed. See, by now, like the kids have been off school and, all the rushing around getting the presents and the stress. I definitely would have had a bottle of wine. Yeah. But I would have woken up the next morning.
Round of applause for you again.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah. But sorry, you were saying you woke up the next morning.
Yeah. But in saying that as well, especially for the women out there that are in perimenopause, and the sweat and the anxiety and the palpitations and the waking up at 3:00 in the morning, I do not miss that.
Yeah.
I don't. Now, that's not to say I won't have a glass of red wine with my Christmas dinner, but I mightn't, and I don't even feel now that I will. But if I do, I do. If I don't.
Yeah, and this thing, like, because I don't drink a huge amount. Like it doesn't really bother me.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Yeah. But like, I would easily say get a like one of the zero Prosecco's or something like that. The cheap ones, not the dear ones, because it kills me to pay extortionate for zero alcohol. But again, my go-to is just a pint of my waddy. I just love it. Like, it's just.
I know. I'll just drink tonic water. With ice and lemon in it.
Is that because you're some tonic yourself?
You're some dose.
Woo! No, I'm not flashing you. All right, Belinda, it is that time for us to say adios, amigos, to our friends.
And
that have
happy
tuned
Christmas,
in.
everybody!
And happy Christmas! I had tried to find some Christmas music, but I just wasn't organised enough, so I wasn't. Because this was a bit of an impromptu recording that we said we would do, but a bit, yeah. But folks, have a lovely Christmas. We will talk to you the far side. As say, we are on our pages if you want to check in over the next wee while. And if you're listening to this after Christmas, hope you've had a good one, and all the best for 2025.
Good luck, everybody.
None of this conversation should be taken as medical advice for you. Before starting or changing any medical or wellness treatment, always consult your GP and medical care team.